Hey guys, how are you doing? As you can see here, I am wearing my Hunger Games shirt, and yes, I did go see Hunger Games Catching Fire, which I saw on Thursday, and finally got around to do my review. Hold on. Excuse me, just a little stuff in my throat. So this is my review of the Hunger Games Catching Fire, and this is going to be a spoiler-filled review, so if you have not seen the Hunger Games Catching Fire, please stop in a few minutes. I will say this: I give the film a 9.5 out of 10. It is excellent. It is amazing. So I'm just letting you know it is worth the price of admission. So if you've not seen the film yet, stop right now. Click on Watch Later, and also subscribe to my channel, and then come back here and watch the review again. And I'm just giving you forewarning because I don't want people to say you ruined the movie for me. I'm warning you ahead of time. I'm giving you a minute right now to know that I'm going to put spoilers in this review of this film. So here goes with my review of Catching Fire, and it might be an extended review. I don't know how long this review is going to be because I got a lot of detail to go into in this film because I've read the books and I know what was happening before I went in. But I think everybody stepped their game up a bit. Stepped their game up for this film. Acting-wise, I think the directing was better. They have a different director now, Francis Lawrence, who directed Constantine and I Am Legend. I'm not dissing what Gary Ross did in the first film. Gary Ross did a great job for what he had to work with the budget that he had to work with. The first film was only shot for about $78–80 million, give or take around that. And that was before all the marketing and everything. But I'm talking about the production budget was about $78–80 million from what I read. This one was probably maybe about 130, 140, I think. You can tell the production value increases, and Francis Lawrence has done a great job with this. I compare it with, like, say, the first X-Men film, which was shot for like $75 million, and Bryan Singer did a great job with what he had to work with. And then the next film, X-Men 2, Fox pretty much doubled the budget. And you could tell the production value of X-Men 2 was a lot better than the first X-Men film. That's what you see here. The special effects are more. You get to see more of Panem. You can tell. And I can understand before you go on, why did Lionsgate not put like $150 million in the first film? Well, it was a big gamble in a way. One, Lionsgate's not one of the big six. Before Hunger Games came out, they only had two films that even grossed $100 million. Their highest grossing film in Lionsgate history was not even a motion picture. It was a documentary. It was Fahrenheit 9/11 from Michael Moore, and I think it made like $120 million. Their highest grossing feature film was The Expendables, which was like $105 million. So the first weekend, the first movie became the highest grossing film in Lionsgate history. Basically, this franchise is keeping Lionsgate afloat. But anyhow, I mean, but here's the thing just to worry about. There's none of this. I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose. I just did that. Okay, bear with me. I did that on purpose because that's what people complained about with the first movie, was the shaky cam. And I understood in ways with the shaky cam, but yes, shaky cam is a cheap knockoff on doing an action scene. There's none of that in this film. So if you got tired of the shaky cam from the first movie, you should have seen it by the time you're watching this review. Then yes, there's none of that in there. Of course, Jennifer Lawrence was fantastic, of course, as always. She's an Oscar winner, so she was fantastic as Katniss, as always. But Josh Hutcherson really stepped his game up in this film. I felt he was way better in this film than the first film. I felt at times he wasn't quite what I wanted Peter to be in the first film. I mean, I felt he was a little too... He was too held back. He wasn't held back. What am I trying to think? He wasn't... He felt like he wasn't giving his best effort. He wasn't giving his best performance or best effort. I didn't hate him as Peter. I just felt that he could have done better as Peter. I mean, he wasn't just god-awful terrible, but this one, he really stepped his game up. I think everybody did. And you get to see more of Donald Sutherland as President Snow. Of course, in the first book, he really wasn't in it as much, and you pretty much introduced to him in the first movie, and you see, okay, you're introduced like, okay, this guy really is a bad. You can tell he's the dictator, but then in this film, you really see how diabolical and evil this man is. But the one performance people worried about the most was as Finnick Odair, Sam Claflin, who played Finnick Odair. I had my concerns because I wasn't impressed with some of his previous work. He was not that great in Pirates of the Caribbean 4. I totally forgot he was in Snow White and the Huntsman because I pretty much forgotten most of that movie except for Charlize Theron and Chris Hemsworth. But other than that, and of course the Mirror Mirror Effect, but other than that, the whole movie's forgettable. So I totally forgot he was in that film, and when he was cast as Finnick, and when I read the book, I pictured Garrett Hedlund from Tron Legacy as Finnick. There are very few times that some things in film have ever proven me wrong. The last time I was ever proven wrong was in 2009 when Star Trek came out, and I thought that was going to be a typical Star Trek terrible movie. Boy, was I wrong. I walked out of there I was proven wrong. Sam Claflin proved me wrong, and I personally tweeted him. He didn't respond back, but I'll at least let him know I was proven wrong. I wasn't on the internet saying I hate this guy as Finnick. I just said I had my concerns. I was like, I didn't say back casting, get him out. It wasn't like some other times where I've said, oh yeah, that's terrible casting, get him out of the film. I never said that about Sam Claflin. I wasn't doing what the 50 Shades Grey fans were saying about Charlie Hunnam. But the first scene, well, it wasn't really his first scene. First scene, you see him on the TV screen being chosen to be in the Court of Quell. But the first scene really where he does a perform. You see his face and all that, but when they're about to do the tribute parade, Finnick is there with his shirt off, and I'm sure all the women are paying attention to his chest. Where he confronts Katniss. It's the famous sugar cube scene. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. That was word for word, exactly from the book, and delivered in the exact way I pictured it in my head. Of course, when I was reading it, I pictured Garrett Hedlund. But then when I saw the film, I see Sam Claflin. The mannerism, the body language, even the way he put the sugar cube in his mouth was exactly the way I pictured that scene. And kudos Francis Lawrence for putting. I think Dallas had to do with the director, but Sam Claflin delivered. And then, of course, when he gets into the arena, the Court of Quell, with the trident. Now, don't go saying that he's Aquaman. I heard people. I saw that the other day. People like, why can't he be Aquaman? Because he's got the trident. He's from a fishing district. No, by coincidence, Aquaman is in this film. Alan Ritchson, who plays Gloss, was Aquaman on Smallville. I just think it's a little... Which is another difference from the film is, in the book, Katniss shoots him in the head with the arrow and kills Gloss. In this film, she shoots him in the chest. So, that was also the same difference between that with Marvel in the first movie. When she shot him in the chest, in the book, she shoots him through the neck. But I think, again, I'm not gonna nitpick, but there's parts of the film I'm gonna nitpick in a bit. But he was great as Finnick, and Jenna Malone was fantastic as Joanna Mason. She was. It wasn't quite exactly how I pictured Joanna, but she took it to another level. I was like, okay, she changed it up. She did the elevator scene. The difference was the elevator scene. I think Katniss, she came into the elevator naked. If I remember from the book, if you remember, put it down below. Let me remember. I think she first, hi, I'm Joanna, and she's naked. And it was just her and Katniss. In the film, it's Haymitch, Katniss, and Peeta, and then Joanna walks into the elevator. She's like, get this dress off. I hate my stylist. I like how they expanded more on Panem. You get to see more of Katniss' stylist team. They were barely in the first. They were in the film for 5 seconds in the first movie. You get to see them a little bit more. I love how they expanded more with Effie. I think Elizabeth Banks was more. One of the most unique outfits she has as Effie is this whole outfit looks like it's made out of monarch butterflies. Literally, the whole outfit is like I hope was not real monarch butterflies, but her whole outfit is just monarch butterflies. It was unique. And she goes extreme over the top, just like Effie was in the book. The one difference is she has yet to say that big day. Yet to say that in the film. I was waiting. She didn't say it in the first one. She didn't say it in the second one. If she did, I may have missed it. But she said it like really extreme. And she only really has one more chance to do it again. And it won't be till the very end of Mockingjay. That's kind of a bit of a spoiler, but I'm not going to get into Mockingjay, really. Of course, Woody Harrelson's great as Haymitch. Stanley Tucci as Caesar Flickerman. I mean, I think everybody was just great in their parts in what they did. And Philip Seymour Hoffman is the head game maker, Haymitch. Absolutely fantastic as that role. Here are some parts that were not in the book that were in the movie, okay? Because I'm right now on Plutarch Heaven Speak. There's a scene where they're at the Capitol ball, and Plutarch is dancing with Katniss, and he has a watch that has the Mockingjay. It's like a Mockingjay hologram on it. That wasn't in the film, but here's why I think they probably left that out. I think the director didn't want the audience crowd, the audience goers who had not read the book, to know that at the end he's part of the revolution. Another difference was Enobaria, who was played by Meta Golding, who was good as well. Her teeth were sharpened, but in the book her teeth were sharpened with gold and jewels on it. They didn't have that in the film. But that's a minor detail. I mean, nothing the big about. One thing they added in this film that should have been in the first film, but I understand with the production budget that probably wasn't in it, but it's finally shown. And I'm in the theater going, thank you! I'm sure some of y'all probably question who have not read the books when you saw the first movie, or who saw the first movie, and if you've seen the second film, you see that you're like, oh, that's how it's done. When a tribute dies in the arena, what happens to their body? Well, in the book, it was in the first book. These hovercrafts come and they pick the bodies up. Either pick them up, or Beamy Scotty style, but have these things that lift them up out of there. They finally show that in the second one when one of the Morphlings dies, and then another one died in the flood. The arena is like a clock, as you probably saw, which of course we all knew with the monkeys and the blood rain and the fog and all that. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, was it when they played with the island where it was spinning around? I'm trying to. It's been about 2 years since I read the book. Refresh my memory if that was in the book. Comment below. Let me know. I'm not trying to say if it was or not. I was trying to remember. So please, I'm getting older. I'm getting older, so I'm getting more forgetful. Please comment below. Another big difference. Two things that were majorly taken out of this film. Bonnie and Twill, refugees from District 8, who Katniss comes across, and she finds out District 13 is still around. And then we don't really hear from Bonnie and Twill again because apparently in Mockingjay they never made it to District 13. So they were not in it. That's how Katniss found out about District 13. She found out at the end in the film. The second one I want to see, Haymitch winning the Hunger Games. When they're on the train going to the Capitol, they watch some of the old footage of how the other tributes had won. So they watch Haymitch's win in the Poison Arena. I wanted to see that. That was like a whole chapter in the book. I wanted to see that even for like 5 minutes. I didn't see that. I want to see, because that also shows, okay, this is why this guy's about. I mean, you look at Katniss, and Katniss is really suffering from PTSD. I think anybody would be suffering from PTSD after experiencing this. But anyhow, this film is better than the first. It's one of those sequels that's gotten better than the first. I don't want it to suffer from that third film where it goes downward from the second one, because it's going to be hard. When they're splitting Mockingjay into two, Katniss doesn't even shoot her bow and arrow. She will not even shoot her bow and arrow until the next. I mean, the real action will be in Mockingjay 2, not Mockingjay 1. Mockingjay 1's the build-up. Mockingjay 2 is you're going to see this is going to be Mockingjay 1's going to be more propaganda and a more chess match between President Snow and President Coin, because by now you know that there's 13s around. President Alma Coin is the president of District 13. You'll find out more. I'm not going to get into the whole story. You'll find out Mockingjay, or read Mockingjay, and you'll know. And by the way, Julianne Moore is going to be playing Alma Coin. But anyhow, comment below, subscribe, let me know, what did you think of Catching Fire? My rating, 9.5 out of 10. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.